So let's start this year on the RASHASH with a really fundamental idea of the RASHASH that we have to realize. The light of the Ein Sof is at the bottom of this concept called Kol Soma. It is the pure light. Let's say, for example, it would be the pure light of the Ein Sof, which is the light of nothingness. But that light becomes surrounded by Mochin. Question is how we understand this, or what the Mochin are. He's going to show us. Those Mochim are surrounded by something which is called the Tzadi, the Tzelem, Slomim. It's another kind of level of Levush. And that is actually covered over by Levushim. And on the outside, you have Keilim. So it's Keilim, Levushim, Slomim, Mochin, and Oros. It is the ore that we seek, but you can't actually find it and be alive. So therefore, the access to it has to be this light itself, which is the light of the Ein Sof, has to go through this process, which of the Kol Soma, of all of those layers of levushim, of clothing of the light of the Ein Sof. Now that's a principle that the RASHASH works on. Now, yesterday, and we're going to go over it slightly again. Let's see how much I can get on the page. Okay, because what we have now is an extension of the basic idea when we put on the Talit Hagadol. So the kavanah is the talis gadol. So when we're dealing with that, let me see if I can get any kind of better resolution here. We're looking at the lights. What lights are there? That's the question. To be able to understand what the RASHASH is saying, and I think that the only way that we can actually do this is by just doing it. So we see what he says on this page and see what he says on the next page. So this page is a page of Oros. So these are the lights we said before. They're Keser, Chochma, Bina, Das, then Chesed, Gevura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, Yesod. Now these are all lights. So remember that when we're dealing with the called Soma, called it with the Panemius of everything, all of those lights. And then he shows us also the Mochin. The Mochin surround the lights. So you have this inside of that. That's really basically what he's telling us. And these are the lights. Now, the thing about it is, and to the way that I see it, is that these Oros and the way he depicts them are the same. In other words, these are the Mochin. And these are the Mochin of Chochmah, these are the Mochin of Bina, these are the Mochin of the Chub, which was Chasadim of the Chub, the Chub, the Abba. So this is the lights that are coming from Abba, and then down below is going to be the lights that are coming from Ima with their Mochin. These are the Mochin for them. Now, I guess what I should do, I don't want to, because it's hard for me, to try to translate what the RASHASH is saying up above. Because up above, what he does is that he does two things. Over the course of this, he shows you how the light and the Mochin and so on and so forth, as we're going to get into it. Even I think he shows Keilim over here. It could be the same. They're going to be the same. The difference is where they're coming from and where they're going to. The Oros are the Oros. The Mochin are the Mochim, and we'll go through that. But let's see what he says. He says the first part, well, this kind of threw me because I think I'm missing something, but V'atifa yashlich beis tzitzios hayomonim, take the two tzitzis, you have two tzitzis, and you bunch the talus around your neck, and you have therefore a right side and a left side. They're both in front of you. So yamin is alakasiv small, and you throw them over your left arm, your left shoulder, ma'ach rub to the backside. What's on the backside? Rem is the nuk shalokachas beis tzitzios chug b'hiyozach ba'ach. So he says small. Ram is the nuk. It's a reference to the female aspect, which is on the backside, those two tzitzios, which are the tzitzios that are called chesed and gevura. So he provides it for me. I didn't know that. B'hiyozach and ba'ach, because at the time when the nuk is on the backside. Those tzitzios acherim, So then there are two different tzitzios. Yishara Toluyim Derek Panov, they remain hanging down on his front side. The Horos al Trin Mochin the Hub to teach you about the two Mochin of Chochma and Bina. So the first part is what is thrown over the shoulder is the Chesed and the Gevurim of the Mochin. And then the Hub is hanging there. Shalokechas v'chazarach lefanim, which you bring them around to the front. Now he says like this: Yekavin lahamshet mekach bad hagat the Hub deny the Yasos. So every time we see this we have to kind of figure it out. Yasos, for the parts of up above, is delivering this light. These are all the lights that we said before, and the mochin that surround them. So that's this inside of that. So it's it's this inside of that, what's on the bottom of the page. Let me move it back. You have to be very careful with this camera. Will cut off if I don't handle it properly. So these are the oros, and these are the mochin, and he says the mochin, the abadika mochin and the imadika mochin, like that, surrounding these oros. Now, the next thing is he says, what are the oros, where are they coming from, and what are we looking at? Now, I have to make this drawing still, and we'll have it, of the Ranchi. The Ranchi are the names of the lights. The lights have Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chayin, Yechida. So we said before that the Naran, the Nefesh, the Ruach and the Neshama actually go into Zer Anpin. And what we're doing is building Zer Anpin to build up the Nuk, the Zer Anpin. So he says this is actually a set of lights. And what are they? It's the Nachi that is not the Neshama. I don't want to say it that way. The Nachi, the Ruach, the Neshama. So it is the top light, the top set of lights, like a partsuf of lights. The Ruach that come from a light called Ruach. It's, in other words, Ruach has a whole Naranchi. I've said this before, but I've got to make the drawing so we can see it easily. The Nai, the Ruach, the Neshama. So he says, what is it? Look at the last word, where the Neshama which goes into Zer Anpin. It has within it a Nefesh, a Ruach, a Neshama, a Chayin, Yechida, but we're talking about the Ruach part of that. Now, the Ruach part of that, I'm thinking, is because we're dealing with continence. We're dealing with Zah in a state of being a Vok. So we're bringing these lights in. These are the lights of continence. And what part of the light are we, of the light of the Ruach? It's the top part, because it has a Naranchi as well. It's the Nachi of the Ruach, but the Ruach of the Neshama. Okay, so that's all I could get out of that. Let's go to the next page. So the next page says, where is this light going? So it says it's going to the Kachbad, which is the top part. Now, why it's the Kachbad? I guess it's because it's the Talit Hagadol. I'm not sure what the qualities of the Talit Hagadol are here yet. So the Kachbad, the Chagat, the Ma'u Ben, the Huv, the Nai, the Bina, the Zah. Wow. Now, in Zer Anpin, so we have to go backwards. In Zer Anpin, there are 10 spheros. One of the spheros is the Bina. So we're talking about the Bina, the Zer Anpin. That's where it's going, to the Bina of Zer Anpin. All of this is coming from, where's it coming from? It's Yekava the Hamshik Mebechinas the Chagat, the Hub, the Nai, the Yasos. That's coming from Yasos. The Kachbad and it's going from Yasos into the top part of the head of the Chagat, middle parts of again, which is the parts of the Vok, the Ma'u Ben, the Hub, the Nai, which is the Ma'u and the Ben, the Chochma Bina of the Nai, the Bina. Again, going back over it again, wow. It says you're dealing with the Bina of Zer Anpin. That Bina comes from the Hub, the Nai, from the Chochma of Bina, the Nai. So that is the, looking at it. The Nai is a partsuf. It has within it a Chochma and a Bina. So we're taking the Chochma and the Bina, which is the top part of the Nai, and the Ma Ben, that is the male aspect and the female aspect. The Chagat of the middle parts of the Lakachov. So thinking of it like this, as Kochov, the way that Rashash is writing it, he's writing it that you have the Keser Chochma Bina as a partzuf by itself. And in that partzuf, there's a Chabad Chagat Nai. I said it wrong? Yeah, I didn't say it wrong. I said it right. In the partzuf of Kav, there's a Chabad Chagat Nai. What part are we going to? We're going to the Chagat of the Chabad. Okay? So let's go and see where it's going. So here's this light that we had on the previous page, the light and the Mochi. They're going to go into Keilim. So usually the Rashash doesn't show you the Tzlamim and the Levushim. He really shows the three. Sometimes he only shows two. So let's see. These are the Gimel Keilim of Chochmah. Okay, not able to understand how he got this, but the Rashash got this. So Gimel Kli Chochmah Dezah, these are the Keilim that the Chochmah is going to go into, or the Keilim of Chochmah Dezah. Gimel Kli Bina Dezah, Gimel Kli Dedas Dezah. So these are the Keilim that these Oros on the previous page and the Mochin are going into. From the Gimel Kli of Chochmah, it goes down the right line. So here we have right line, a concept like this, right line, left line, middle line. So this would be the line of Chesed, or the line of Chochmah. Chochmah is called Chachan. Chochmah, Chesed, and Netzach. This line is going to be called Baga, Bina, Gevura, and Hod. The middle line is going to be Das, is the Das, and then it's Tiferes, and then it's Yesod. So these 9 pieces that we're talking about here represent the Keilim that are going to receive. So the way it goes is like this. These Keilim are inside of these Keilim, and these Keilim are inside of these Keilim. And it's like that everywhere. So the light that comes from here is mashpia to the Keilim that are down below it. And the Keilim that are down below that is mushpa to them too. So let's go on and just keep seeing what we have to see here. So he says, the ha'asaros. So now he says, he's talking about hairs. Shehem ha'mochin de gadlos, ha'mispashtim ad resha dezer anpin, yamshech la'or makif lezer anpin. So the translation is the hairs. What hairs? Shehem mochin de gadlos. So he says, from the mochin de gadlos, it produces sa'aros. Hair. These hairs spread. Mispashtim ad resha dezer anpin. So they come from, apparently, from the Nai of Ima, which is entering into Zer Anpin, and there is some sort of Sa'aros here. And he says, Resha de Zer Anpin, Yamshech la'or makif l'zah, it becomes an or makif for Zer Anpin. Remember that the talis is a concept of a makif. V'hanimim, then there are a different set of hairs. So he has now Sa'aros hairs, Nimin are bundles of hairs, V'hakutzim are little hairs. So this is all contained in the Idra Rabbah, the Idra Zuta, I don't remember which one, where it goes through this concept here. So he says, let's go to the next one. Now the Nimim are bundles of hairs. Shehem Mochin, the Yanika, are a certain type of Mochim. He says they come from the Mochim, which are from Yanika. So if you don't know what Yanika is, you're in the wrong shir. But Yanika is the stage of the Vok of Zer Anpin. Yanika is where he's building and he's being nursed and fed. That's the concept of Yanika is nursing. So he said, "Mamochin the Yanika k'shemispashtim adigarim to Zer Anpin," and they're coming into the hair of the head of Zer Anpin. And these nimim, he says, are going into the all the way down into the garment of Zer Anpin. And it becomes an or makif for Leah, who is opposite the neck. She's in the backside of the neck. Nukva al Yona, which is the upper nukva. We have 2 aspects of the female, which are Leah and Rachel. Leah is from the proximally the neck to the chaz of Zer Anpin. And for the chaz of Zer Anpin, Lamata is where we find Rachel. Now the next one is V'chakotzim. So we have Kotzim. Kutzim are little hairs. Shehem Mochim the Ivor. So these are going backwards. Let's go back and just see his words. He says first you have Sa'aros, who are Mochin the godless. Then you have Nimim, which are Mochin the Yanika, which is the second stage, or a previous stage. Vachakotzim, which is a Shehem Mochin the Ivor, which are from the ingest. What is it? What's the right word? At any rate, the development of the it's after conception, as the zun is developing. Mispashtim ad chazad de zer anpin, and they spread down to the chaz of zer anpin, and over there it becomes an or makif because we're dealing with tzitzis. The rachel nuk de zer anpin. This is for rachel who is a nuk de ever zer anpin. And this is the aspect of the strings themselves. Now let's take a look over here at what we've got in the drawing. The draw shows that this is the name Ma, the gematria 45. It's called the Milui of Alofim. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of these. So Ma is the number 45 in gematria. So here you have the number 450. What that does for me, I don't know. So let's read over here and get down close and look at the RASHASH, what the RASHASH says. So he says, V'hayechida, the Tzalmei Hanaz, whoa, Shehem b'bechina Yud Shemos Ma, which is the aspect of 10 different names of Ma, which is gematria 45, as I said. Shehem Mispar Talis, which comes to the gematria of the word Talit. Now let's see Talit in the Kolel. Let's see, 400, 410, 440, and 9. 449 is the same thing as 450. So he says, we'll read it again. So the idea is like this. We're going to take this, it's going to become a makif. The call hayud spheres, the parts of anaz. So he said, all the yud spheros of the parts of that we're talking about, the zer anpin, or makif agadol, this is the big or makif. Hayasher shehu b'bechinas talis, which is the same idea as the talis. He says that if you take 4, the idea of talis. Now what I do with this, how it works, we can only learn this, I think I can only learn this by going through it. There's no magic pill here. So he says that what you're going to get here, let's v'hayechida, the very highest level of light, that slomim. So now he's saying that in the concept, as we had before, all right, as we had before, of the called sama. One of the levushim inside of the Keilim that covers over the light is called salamim. It's tzadi, the tzalim. And that's going to be going in, it's going to be surrounding the mochim, which surrounds the or. Constantly have this idea here. So he says, the yechida. So I don't have that drawing yet. I got to make it. And that drawing is going to show you the Naranchi. And hopefully, I just don't know how to work it out on the computer. I'm an older man, and I missed a lot. So it's hard for me to put it together. So he said, V'chayechida, that Slomem Anaz, Shechem Bechinas Yud Shemos Ma, so he says that the Yechida, which actually of the Tzalomim. So there's a Ranchi in the Tzalomim, he's saying, Shechem Bechinas Yud Shemos Ma, Shehem Misbar Talis, which comes to the gematria, the word Talis. So you take this concept, and he says, what is this? It's the top part of this Yechida that's Lamim. Yikav lahamshech or makif l'kol chayud spheres, the parts of anal, the zer anpen. So we're coming, this is going to the hamshech or makif. So again, a more makif is a light that's too strong because it's the light of Yechida, which is shining here, but it can only shine as an or makif. It can't go into zer anpen. B'kol hayud sefiras, the parts of anal, dezer anpen v'chem bebechinas or makif hagadol hayasher v'hu bebechinas atalis, and that's the concept of the talis. And let's say this one more time, so we can have a mind and we put on the talis. It's an or makif the kol hayud sefiras, the parts of anal. Dezer anpen v'chem bebechinas or makif hagadol. This is called the big makif. The Hagadol, Hayasher, which is straight, for Huba Bechinis Talis, which is the concept of the Talis. So we're working through this, trying to understand the RASHASH, and we'll go through it again tomorrow with God's help, get a little bit better.